The date is Sunday, September 22nd, 2019. The Yankees were taking on division rival, the Toronto Blue Jays. This New York Yankees team was looking to close in and finish off another 100-win season behind arguably the best lineup in baseball. Filled with young stars top to bottom, such as homegrown kids like Gary Sanchez and Aaron Judge, upcoming players like Gleyber Torres and Gio Urshela, with veterans such as MVP candidate DJ LeMahieu, and veterans Didi Gregorius, Brett Gardner, and Edwin Encarnacion. With a star-studded bullpen with arms like Adam Ottavino, Zach Britton, and Aroldis Chapman, the only concern was the starting pitching. All the starters had an ERA hovering around 4. Not horrible, but no ace. Today was different though. It was the club's second game back with young star Luis Severino. Severino was coming back from rotator cuff inflammation in his right shoulder and a grade 2 lat strain. Bringing Severino back was going to give a major piece into this team's World Series run. Don't believe me? September 22nd, Severino went 5 innings of shutout baseball, surrendering 3 hits and fanning 9 Blue Jays without a single walk. It was his second consecutive game the Yankees took home the win, as he moved to 9 straight innings of shutout baseball since his return from injury. Fast forward to today, this tale of his peak, 2017 to 2018, seems like a myth. Luis Severino was the only pitcher outside of Corey Kluber and Chris Sale to make the All-Star team and have top 10 Cy Young finishes in the American League in 2017 and 2018. Now, how did this highly valued star of the Yankees go from a necessity in a World Series run to being scratched in the rotation for Ian Hamilton and being the worst statistical pitcher in Yankees history in 2023? Luis Severino was born February 20th, 1994 in Sabana de la Mar, Dominican Republic. He grew up a massive Yankees fan as he idolized one of the DR's best, Yankee second baseman Robinson Cano. Don't you know? His dream came true on December 26, 2011, as the Yankees signed him as an international free agent. Severino initially agreed to terms with the Rockies, but once a Yankee scout noticed, he matched the Rockies' offer and was easily able to convince Severino to play for his beloved Yankees. He always stood out as a flamethrower and was sitting in the low 90s at the young age of 17. In his first season signed for a Yankees international team in 2012, Severino started 14 games, going 4-2 with a ridiculous 1.68 ERA. Fast forward to 2014, Severino continued asserting his dominance and flying through the Yankee system. He pitched to a 2.79 in A ball, 1.31 in high A, and 2.52 ERA in Double A. He was selected to the Futures game as well to represent the Yankees. Severino now got his fastball up to 97 miles an hour at only 20 years old. At the beginning of the 2015 season, Luis Severino was making his name known. MLB.com had him ranked inside the top 25 prospects in baseball. He was the number 1 prospect in the whole Yankee system, above future All-Star Gary Sanchez and future league MVP Aaron Judge. Yankee fans were eager for the future, as the current staff featured plenty of mediocrity with a struggling CC Sabathia, inconsistent Michael Pineda, and regressing Ivan Nova. Fans were calling early. By the summer, Severino was dominating AAA. Through 11 starts, Luis Severino was 7-0 with a 1.91 ERA and sub-1 whip. This was causing teams to reach out to the Yankees about potential trades, as his name was rumored at the 2015 deadline, one of the most electric trade deadlines in MLB history. Shortly after the deadline ended at 4 p.m. on July 31, 2015, the Yankees promoted Luis Severino to the Major League roster. The Yankees planned on giving Severino a spot in the rotation as Michael Pineda hit the IL. Severino would be on a pitch count for 2015, as the young flamethrower was still only 21 years old. His debut would come on August 5th against their arch rivals, Boston Red Sox. No stage was too big for the 21-year-old kid, as Severino would throw 5 innings of 2-hit baseball, surrendering 1 earned run while striking out 7 without a walk. He was the first pitcher in American League history with 2 hits or fewer, no walks, and at least 7 strikeouts in his Major League debut. Severino continued to deal throughout his first month. He finished August with a 2.17 ERA in 29 innings, racking up 29 strikeouts and quality starts in all 5 games. In September, Severino continued dominating. Even as the youngest player in all of Major League Baseball, Severino went at least 5 innings with 3 earned runs or less in 10 of 11 starts. He finished 2015 with a 2.89 ERA and 1.2 whip while sporting a 5-3 record. It was a fantastic start to the young star's career, as hitters were having a .235 expected batting average and a barrel rate of 5.7% against Severino, which put him very close to stars like David Price, who was the runner-up in Cy Young voting that season. This allowed Severino to earn himself a spot in the Yankees rotation in 2016. It was not the start Severino drew up though. Through his first 7 starts, Severino was 0-6 with a 7.46 ERA. On May 13th against the White Sox, He gave up 7 runs in 2 1/3 innings, but he left the game with a triceps injury that put him on the IL. He rehabbed a couple games in AAA 2 months later and eventually rejoined the Yankees at the end of July. Severino finished the 2016 season with a 3-8 record and an ERA of 5.83. In his 11 starts, he went 0-8 with an 8.5 ERA and 1.78 WHIP. However, in his 11 relief appearances that season, he went 3-0 with a .39 ERA and .77 WHIP. The Yankees weren't panicking, but it left them in a very weird spot. The 22-year-old had significant struggles starting, but was phenomenal in relief. There have been hundreds of pitchers who couldn't figure out starting, but once they moved to the pen, changed their careers and found new success. Was Luis Severino next? One of the biggest issues Severino had in 2016 was his third time through the order, which was odd because this wasn't the case in 2015. This left Yankees manager Joe Girardi to give the ball to Severino in full confidence entering the 2017 season, as he was the team's 4th listed starter behind Michael Pineda, CC Sabathia, and Masahiro Tanaka. The Yankees were very young and weren't expected to be very good in 2017, as they were still rebuilding after their early 2010s years after their World Series in 2009. Severino made his presence known early, as despite a poor first start in Baltimore to open his season, surrendering 4 runs in 5 innings, Severino set a career high with 11 strikeouts against the Rays in his next start, followed by 10 strikeouts in an 8-inning performance against the White Sox, followed by a 7-inning shutout against the Red Sox to end April with a 3 ERA and 33 strikeouts in 27 innings. In May, he continued establishing himself as he pitched to a 2.88 ERA, including an 8-inning shutout against the Royals. In June, he set a new personal record, fanning 12 against the White Sox in a 7-inning, 1-run effort. At the All-Star break, Severino solidified himself as an elite arm, as his 10.5 Ks per 9 ranked him in the top 5 in all of baseball, striking out 124 batters in about 106 innings at a 3.54 ERA. Post-All-Star break, Severino reached new levels. He started in a huge matchup against one of the best pitchers in baseball, Chris Sale. Sale went 7 2/3 innings of shutout baseball in the matchup, and Severino went toe-to-toe, going 7 innings, surrendering 4 hits and 1 run as the Yankees took home the victory in extras. At the end of July, the only player with as many 7-inning performances of 1 earned runs or less outings than Luis Severino was Max Scherzer, both at 8. In his first 33 2/3 innings after the All-Star break, Severino gave up a staggering 3 earned runs. He was the best pitcher in baseball over the stretch. He was absolutely elite the rest of the way, as after the All-Star break, he had the 4th lowest ERA in all baseball and the 3rd highest WAR, as well as having the 4th lowest FIP and xFIP. Severino was the 2nd youngest Yankee to ever record a 200 strikeout season and had the 3rd most strikeouts in a single season in Yankees history. His 16 starts of 1 run or less led the major leagues. Additionally, he was the first Yankee starter to have 16 starts with 1 run or less allowed in a single season since Mike Mussina in 2001, and the youngest pitcher in the major leagues to reach this mark since Dwight Gooden all the way back in 1985. He also became the first American League pitcher with an ERA below 3 and 230 or more strikeouts in their age 23 season or younger since Roger Clemens in 1986. All of this was good enough for him to finish 3rd in Cy Young voting, behind Chris Sale and Corey Kluber. To say Severino broke out was an absolute understatement. He led all major league pitchers with an average fastball velocity of 97.6 miles per hour at the young age of 23. Everything was off the charts. He had his struggles and moments in the 2017 playoffs, but expectations were still high going into the 2018 season. He picked off right where he left off. By July, he was the first Yankee since CC Sabathia to win 13 games by the All-Star break. He was selected to his 2nd consecutive All-Star game in 2018 as he led baseball with a 14-2 record with a 2.12 ERA, as the Yankees were 18-2 in games Severino pitched. Severino was even the favorite to win the AL Cy Young at this point. The rest of the way though, Severino saw his first struggles since 2016. He posted an ERA above 5 for the rest of the season. This caused Severino to drop in nearly every statistic, but he still placed in the top 10 in Cy Young voting. Most Yankee fans though weren't too concerned, as he had a historic first half and was still only 25 years old, already one of the best arms in the entire game. In the playoffs though, Severino continued to see some struggle. He was on the receiving end of a 16-1 embarrassing home loss against the Boston Red Sox, where he gave up 6 runs in 3 innings, only striking out 2. In the offseason, the Yankees inked Severino to a 4-year, $40 million deal with a club option in year 5. He started the season injured with shoulder issues, as documented at the opening part of the video, which then later resulted in the grade 2 lat strain, This held Severino out nearly the whole season, but he pitched at the end of September and in the 2019 playoffs, giving up 2 runs in 8 1/3 innings in 2 starts versus the Twins and Astros. Entering his age 27 season in 2020, Yankees fans were looking forward to the team bouncing back from a historic season. 2019 is when they lost the Houston Astros again in Game 6 after the Altuve walk-off home run. An absolutely painful loss. This year was supposed to be different though. After the Yankees inked star pitcher Gerrit Cole from the Astros, the Yankees would have a great 1-2 punch finally with Gerrit Cole and Luis Severino. The Yankees were always said that they were lacking at the top end in pitching depth, and now they had it. Until it was announced in February 2020 that Luis Severino would be needing Tommy John surgery to repair a partially torn UCL in his right elbow. On June 12, 2021, Severino suffered a groin injury during a rehab start with the Hudson Valley Renegades and was sidelined until August. After pitching 2 rehab starts in August, Severino again suffered another setback after quote-unquote not feeling right during warm-ups. On September 20th, 2021, Severino was finally activated off the injured list for the first time in 706 days. Severino pitched in only 7 games from 2019 to 2021. Despite this, Severino had a very strong 2022. He only pitched in 19 games, but threw to a 3.18 ERA and 1 WHIP. It was very, very encouraging. Coming into 2023, Severino was expected to be a key piece of the Yankees' rotation. But it's been all but that. Coming into the season, once again, Luis Severino started the season on the IL due to a lat issue. But you know what, to be honest, he started the season very strong, going 2 straight games of 1-run baseball, basically both quality starts, and getting the Yankees 2 wins in the process as well. All seemed to be going good for Severino. Was his comeback tour official? Was he going to put together a fully healthy season? Half of that, but the wrong half. He's been healthy, but he's better off hurt. Through June and July and the early parts of August, he hasn't just been one of the worst pitchers in baseball right now, but he's been the worst pitcher in Yankees history as of this moment. After allowing 10 runs in the first inning over a 2-start stretch, he became the 3rd Yankee to ever accomplish this feat since 1913. At the time of this recording, the Yankees even tried using Ian Hamilton as the opener and then bring in Severino, and he got shelled again. He's over an 8 ERA right now and is one of the worst pitchers in baseball. Luis Severino, these days, starting to sound a lot more like batting practice. Now, you ask me, Mystic Matt, what happened? Well, for starters, obviously the injuries don't help Luis Severino. I remember saying this a couple years ago, and the fact's becoming reality. When you are a starting pitcher and you are throwing very high velocity over and over again, there's a very good chance you could result in injury. For example, at this time, you have to look back. The 2 hardest throwers on a mile-an-hour standpoint for pitchers back in 2016 and 17 were Luis Severino and Noah Syndergaard. Look where they're both at now. Even a guy like Jacob deGrom that was dominating baseball. Look where he is now. He's constantly had injuries. Yes, you could say before he was really sitting around 99, 100. But it's true. These guys put themselves at risk. I'm not saying don't throw hard, but there's just a common theme with a lot of these flame-throwing guys, especially that start. And now that all these starters are throwing much harder than they used to back in the day, it just makes it easier for hitters because now they're used to this day in and day out of seeing guys throw 96, 97, 98, 99 as starters. Now, will Luis Severino really be able to turn this back around? I really don't know. His struggles have just been so poor these last couple months, and you just see it watching him. He looks defeated and depleted. He doesn't have the faith in his off-speed, and like I said, his fastball is not as powerful as it used to be. And not just as a Yankee fan, but just as a baseball fan, I never root for guys to fail. I want to see Luis Severino come back to maybe not even just full form, but just around a 3 ERA, just basically what he was last year. But will that happen? I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. I just want to get this video out sooner rather than later. Just as a Yankee fan, Severino's someone I've always really liked. I mean, because just when baseball was peaking, for me at least, when I was 10, 11, 12, he was their #1 prospect. And just seeing him come to fame in 2015, but then really be an all-star level player in 17 and 18. And now just seeing him now, it's like someone you don't even recognize. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. Is Severino going to turn around? Like, follow, comment for more. Let me know what you want to see in the next video. And until next time, I'll keep stirring that pot, ladies and gentlemen. Have a phenomenal day, night, evening, whatever time you're watching.